Welcome back to another Star Citizen video. In this one, we'll be looking at mining in the Prospector, another one of the free ships. We're just getting ourselves to the pad very quickly, skipping a bunch of stuff here to keep things moving more swiftly for you guys. Hopping in the Prospector here on the landing pad, and we'll be going to one of the points in the Aaron Halo. If you're not familiar with the Aaron Halo, it's this ring that's around the Stanton system. And you can get there by jumping out of quantum travel at the right time. And to do that, what we have to do is set a point. We'll start quantum traveling to that point, and then we'll drop out of quantum travel at a point that is close to where the Halo is. So here it's about 14,736,000 kilometers. I'm going to go ahead and set my quantum travel back to Arc L1 so I can get there quickly, and now we'll start searching. There's the first ping, and this one's right in front of us. So, oh, look at that. It's a cluster. Quite often, Quantanium is going to show up in clusters, and just so happen to be lucky, this is the first cluster I've seen today. This doesn't normally happen, but there's two rocks in here, over 20%. Definitely going to mine this one. So these two are the rocks I'm going to keep an eye on, and the ones I don't mine. Two of those should fill up the Prospector, no problem. Mining is pretty simple. You shoot the laser into the rock gains energy, and this little bar on the right starts going up. And it'll take more energy based on how much mass the rock has, what its resistance is, based on the properties of the rock. And in this case, I have the Lancet mining head, and it's good enough to break a rock of this size. So the simplest thing to do is just simply crank the power and let it come up. And watch for the instability, and you can kind of see that here where the charge level of the rock is going up and down. You can get closer to the rock, and that will help you get a little more power into it, as well as kind of painting the rock a little bit. They say that there are weak spots in the rocks, so it is possible that a weak spot, when you find it, could help you get more power into the rock where it will increase its charge and cause it to break faster. I have found that simply moving the mining head around does accelerate that. I'm not sure if that's actually because of lag and the server thinking there's multiple mining heads on it momentarily, which it very well could be a desync lag issue, but it does seem to speed things up. So try painting it a little bit, is what I like to call it, and see if that will help you get the rock broken a little faster. As we're getting close, the green optimal range there is where you want to keep the charge level, and you do that by reducing power to keep it from accelerating up through the green into the red. Once it gets into the red, that's overcharge region, and that region is where the rock will explode, especially with Quantanium. If you're within 30 meters when that goes, it'll very likely disable your Prospector or also blow it up. The thing about Quantanium is it's the most unstable material. It's the only one that has a stability timer once you load it into your ship, so you've got to go back by 15 minutes. It has the smallest optimal range, and it also causes damage to you if you overcharge. So all of those things combined make Quantanium the most risky but have the highest payout. Okay, I'm going to skip through these here. The objective once you break the main rock is to scan each of them, kind of set up a game plan. And thanks to the magic of video editing, I can kind of go through this quickly, show you scanning through the rocks. We'll break this next one, and hopefully we'll get some good breaks out of it. And because of the size of this rock, it's a little larger, and it's very, very slow. You can see that I've only got about a third of the energy. So what I did is backed off the power, hit it with the surge, that boosts it up into the optimal range. And then hopefully I can keep it in the green range long enough for it to break. And in this case, that was a good tactic. You can use that to break rocks much bigger than you should be able to with just the mining head alone. So we've got a good break here. We'll go through and scan each of these again, taking out a lot of the extra time for you guys. And a couple of them are pretty good, so I'm keeping those in mind, kind of prioritizing what order I want to break them. The thing about breaking the rock, sometimes the purple shards will disappear. And there's a pretty good break, so I'll go through, break all these. Okay, so all of those are broken down into these purples. Let's start extracting, and we'll kind of run through this pretty quickly. We're going to extract everything as a prioritization from rocks that are 100% first, and I was able to fill up completely with 32 SCU. Now we've got a time limit. We've got to get back to our L1 and put the ship in storage before the Quantanium blows up. When you're coming back to the station, always aim off of the station. Don't aim directly at it, because the Prospector flies like a lead sled. It doesn't slow down, and it doesn't maneuver well at all. So you're very likely to overshoot like I did here, but always aim off the station so you can slide past it. And I usually call in for the landing within 5,000 meters. Alright, our landing pad is assigned, and we'll come in for landing and make our way to the refinery. Here I'm using decoupled mode to come in for the landing so I can orient the landing gear properly. Just make sure you're below 10 meters per second when you actually touch down, and that will make sure that you're not going too fast or risking blowing up the ship.
Landing complete.
Since Quantanium is volatile and we just heard that noise, that means it's in the yellow stage. It is possible to blow up by very slightly bumping something in the Prospector, so watch out for that. We'll head to the lobby, store it. Once it's stored, we're safe. We don't have to worry about the ship blowing up now. It can stay in there indefinitely. You can log out. Also go down to the refinery and put this Quantanium either into the refining process or we can sell it. And to do that, we need to run to the upstairs portion of the refinery. And you can get a pretty good idea of what kind of money you'll get out of this. So I've got 32 SCU of Quantanium in this load, and that's 140,800 AUEC for this load of Quantanium if I were to sell it directly. So in about an hour is how long it took for me to fly out there, get the one load of Quantanium, and then come back. So now let's look at the refining process. So you have a couple options here. Solvination's pretty good, and that's going to get you the maximum yield with the longest time. But there's another one I like, and it's this Ferron exchange, and it'll give you the same yield. Keep note of that number. So it's not quite all of it, but you'll get most of it back in the yield, and that's the highest you'll get. It's double the price, but about half the time. So if you have a couple loads in here processing already, maybe the last few, if you know you're going to pick up within the next half a day, you do those with the Ferron exchange. You pay that little bit of extra, but then you can pick up all of your other loads at the same time. All right, once the work order is placed, then we're good to go and pick up another load of Quantanium, head back to the Prospector, and go back to the Air and Halo. You could go to the planet Lyria to also get Quantanium there. There's bigger rocks in Lyria sometimes, and make sure you bring some surge modules if you go out to Lyria. That was the ground here. Seems like there's a couple of floor, which I thought was interesting. And that's it for this one. If you like this little faster paced content where I made a lot of edits, let me know. If you want more Star Citizen content in the future, post it down in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one.